All right, let's talk about cyber threat intelligence, or CTI. You probably hear this term thrown around a lot, right? It's kind of seen as the hidden engine of modern cybersecurity, the thing that's supposed to bring clarity to all the chaos. But what is it really, and how does it actually work? Well, we're going to break it all down.
So to really get why threat intelligence is such a big deal, you first have to picture the world it lives in. For any big company or organization today, the digital world isn't just a place to do business. Nope, it's a battlefield. It's a constant, confusing digital fog of war.
And trust me, that is not an exaggeration. The attacks are relentless. We're talking about a non-stop, 24/7 barrage of attempts to break defenses, steal data, and just cause disruption. The sheer volume of it all can be completely overwhelming, even for the most prepared security teams out there.
So who are they fighting against? Well, government analysis shows a pretty diverse and dangerous cast of characters. You've got everything from highly sophisticated foreign intelligence services all the way to well-funded organized crime groups. And honestly, that's just scratching the surface.
And this brings us right to the core problem. If the attacks never stop, and the enemy is this complex, shadowy mix of different groups with different goals, how do you even begin to put up a decent fight? How do you fight an enemy you can't properly see or even understand?
Well, the answer to that question is cyber threat intelligence. CTI is the discipline of turning all that confusion and chaos into actual clarity. It's the tool that organizations use to finally cut through that fog and really get to know their enemy.
Okay, so what is it formally? At its heart, CTI is all about a process. It's about taking all that raw, chaotic information about the bad guys, their tools, their motivations, their tactics, and refining it, cooking it down into something powerful, actionable intelligence that you can use to build a real, effective defense.
This really gets to the core mission. See, a CTI team doesn't just collect interesting facts for a report. Its entire purpose is to empower the people on the front lines, the defenders. It's all about getting the right intelligence to the right people at the right time, making their jobs actually possible in the face of all these attacks.
Now, CTI isn't just randomly grabbing data from the internet. It's a very structured, repeatable process, an idea borrowed directly from traditional intelligence fields. It's a continuous cycle that's designed to constantly make an organization smarter about the threats it's up against. Let's walk through it.
So the life cycle has 5 key phases that move you from questions to answers. It all starts with direction, basically asking, what do we need to know? Then comes collection and processing, where you gather and sort all the raw data. But the real magic, that happens in analysis. This is where raw information becomes genuine insight. And finally, dissemination, which is just about making sure those insights get to the people who can actually use them.
And what's absolutely crucial to understand is that this whole thing is a continuous loop. The intelligence you get from one cycle helps you ask smarter questions in the next one. It's not a one-and-done report. It's a living, breathing effort to stay ahead of the adversary. That constant refinement is what builds a truly powerful defense over time.
Okay, so we've got a process for creating all this intelligence, but how is it actually used? Let's take a look at how CTI goes from being a concept to becoming a real, tangible part of a stronger defense.
A really key aspect of CTI is that you tailor it for who you're talking to. For the executives in the boardroom, you provide strategic CTI. That's the high-level, big-picture stuff about major threats that helps them make smart business decisions. But for the defenders in the trenches, you give them tactical CTI. This is highly technical. It provides those specific indicators of compromise. Think of them as the digital fingerprints of an attacker, like a malicious IP address, that they can use to block an active threat right now.
And this intelligence makes a real, tangible difference every single day. For example, it helps security teams figure out which vulnerabilities to fix first, because CTI tells them which ones the attackers are actually using. It also powers what's called threat hunting, where you proactively go searching for hidden attackers on your network before they have a chance to do any damage.
So this all sounds pretty good, right? How does an organization actually build a capability like this? Well, it's not as simple as just flipping a switch. It takes a serious investment in people, a good strategy, and a whole lot of time.
This roadmap gives you a pretty realistic picture. From the day you start your first threat assessment, you're typically looking at 18 to 24 months before you have a fully operational CTI function. Yeah, this is a long-term commitment, not some quick weekend project.
And it also requires a pretty significant financial investment. You're looking at a minimum cost of over £500,000 just to get a basic capability off the ground. That alone tells you that CTI is a serious, professional function.
And that investment isn't just about buying fancy tools. It's about investing in people. A successful team needs a perfect blend of skills. You need a leader to set the direction. You need subject matter experts who have deep knowledge of specific adversaries, and you need a technical specialist who can manage the absolute fire hose of data and tools.
So, when you put it all together, the process, the investment, the people, what you end up with is a fundamental shift in your security mindset. It's about moving away from constantly just reacting to attacks and moving toward a much more proactive, intelligent way of doing things.
This quote really gets to the heart of it all. CTI isn't just about building a higher wall to keep people out. It's about intelligence in the truest sense of the word. It's about understanding your opponent's motivations, their capabilities, and their tactics so well that you can actually start to anticipate what they're going to do before they even do it.
And that really brings us to our final thought. In a digital world where the attacks simply never stop, just reacting to them after they happen feels like a losing game. Which leaves us with a pretty critical question. Is building an intelligent, proactive defense like CTI no longer just a good idea, but maybe the only real way to survive?